before we do it. Once you're used to this, you can do it fairly quickly, or you can do it the way we just did with stopping at each different point. So this is an exercise I used to do very, very regularly, and I got to the point where I could basically do that all in one movement. But I don't think that that's the best way to begin, for sure. We should probably stop and make sure that we're doing it correctly. Okay, all set to go again? It's going to be time to go home when we're done. But you'll be stronger and looser, so that's all good. Okay, bend your hips and let your chest round in even before we make any kind of an effort. And remember, one of the things that's very important, if your hand's like this, am I reaching into my fingers? Probably not. You have to reach way, way out into your hands. Okay, now sit and curve just a little bit and make that line across upper back. Okay, every time we sit, if this protrudes at all, you're actually hurting your back, not helping your back. Your butt has to tuck this way. So when we're done, our back is like this, not like that. Okay, so upper back, right now, cross shoulder blades. Reaching into my hands, I can feel my arms connected through upper back. Pause and breathe and stretch. Then just under my shoulder blades, and I sit a little bit more. Every time we change the location on the back, your arms should get longer. So stretch again and push that new part of your back backwards. Okay, now middle back and sit more, bend more, find middle back and open on both sides. Push it slightly backwards, tucking your hips under, and pause and breathe. Then just underneath middle back, not quite lower back yet. And sit way, way down. You should be almost in a half squat by this time. Okay, feel it and stretch it. Then sit more, go to lower back, tuck your head down, tuck your butt, make your hips heavy and your feet heavy, and hold it. Now go lower and lower back, all the way down. Drop your hands in your head and come up curled and soft. There you go. You can all pay me $50 on the way up. That's in place of your chiropractor. So doing this kind of exercise on a regular basis for many, many people, I'm not going to make extravagant claims, but for a lot of people, this has really made a big difference in their back health and the number of times they have to go to the chiropractor. So don't fire them. Just go less often. Okay, so in Qi Gong, the first movement is this, and one of the things that should be happening as I'm doing this, again, depends on my hips bending and my chest retreating slightly, is that as soon as I start to move, my back rounds this way. It rounds outwards. If you put your hand on your back when you're about this position, and it's a really good idea to do this so you can monitor exactly what's happening back here. If you find you still have an indent, and now do it with me, okay? If you have an indent, especially at lower back, this is incorrect movement for your back, especially in this position. And so further to my adventures with my back problems, there's a person in Vancouver, and I think he's still active. He was called the Back Doctor. He put out a couple of different books. And initially, what he said was that to fix your back problems, you should do a lot of this, drawing your back in. And just about the time that I went to spend time with him, he completely changed and said, no, that's wrong. That's not going to help your back. What you should do is round your back outwards. Right? This is what's going to make a big difference. And this is natural, rounding your back out, because as soon as you sit, your back rounds outwards. Right? You can try it. Just sit on a chair at any time and see what happened to your back If you were to sit like this, everybody'd say, oh, what's the problem? You having back issues today? All right, this is so abnormal. This is normal. So part of what Qi Gong and Tai Chi are trying to do is to train you back to moving in a natural manner and rounding your back out as soon as you bend here is very natural. Okay? So that's a big part of what happens here. The front of your torso is rounding in, your back is rounding out, but it does depend on you bending here and the chest being released so it will round inwards. Okay, so that's going through the very first part of first posture. Now, when we do second part, I'll show you what many people do is that as the arms come up, they tighten and push the chest out and pull the back inwards. So why do we do this? Because we have so much tension in our bodies, and this is what we're used to doing, is moving through tension. But what should happen on that next portion is that as my arms go up, I actually round in more and my back rounds out more. So that when my arms are up, I should be in this position, not this position. You can tell one looks much stronger, more natural than the other. So we begin that, elbows down and fingertips pointing up until we get to shoulder height. Right hand crossing over and grasping lightly on the left. Now sit a little bit more, round your chest in more, and expand your back outwards. So again here, if you pause and run your hand down, this is for home practice especially. Monitor what's going on in your body. So let me show you one of the difficulties people have. And one of the reasons that people end up doing this. Right away I'm off because I projected my butt backwards. And that often is because the hips are so stiff. They don't work correctly yet. So what should happen again is this rounding means I have to tuck my butt under. Not pushing it forward, definitely not that, but just releasing the hip joint down. And if you put your hand here and feel, and then adjust until your back is either flat or even better, slightly rounded outwards, you'll start to control your misaligning your body through tension. Okay, so here's our next position. In any case, do the best you can to get here. And already, even though we haven't got much effort going, I can feel a big stretch through both sides of my back, especially on the ribs, but also here through lower back. So this is very good. Now, some of you, put your hand on your back, because I know you're going to find you have an indentation. I can see your butt projecting backwards. Okay, so fix it best you can. Well, I'm going to work on it more. Now, when we lift our arms up, we're actually going to sink our breath, sink our hips, expand the back a little bit more, and increase the stretching going on through the back. Okay, then on a rotation, where we're stretching changes, off more to one side and more toward the ribs. So almost 45-degree angle on your body at this point. We're trying to have our biceps behind our ears and fingers maybe not pointing straight up, but almost straight up. So keep going slow and readjusting. I'm facing forward again now, and then I'm going to rotate so that the right side of my body is now stretching. So my weight is on my left side. I'm stretching my right side. And that's the entire exercise. So the choreography is quite simple. The doing of it, not so simple. Okay, and a very good idea, especially at home, is to keep stopping occasionally and looking and touching and then breathing. Where's my breath? If it's not in the belly, you're probably tightening. Excuse me. Okay, and then to end this, properly from a pointing forward position. I just move my head and neck to look upwards. As I do, I want to bend my hips more. So Mike, you're into your usual position where you're leaning with the hip closed. And look straight up and reach up. Release through the armpit area. And then arch our way down. So this position, I'm going to stop at shoulder height and feel again. I should be stretching through upper back right now. Then without moving my arms, I go to middle back and then all the way down to lower back. Okay, I want to stay fairly straight with my back rounded. Then just rolling my shoulders back, my hands come in place. Belly button here, middle down chin, just a little bit below. That's where I want my arms right now. And then up. So, very powerful medicine for your back. And that is not our primary thing in Qi Gong. Our bodies do have to work correctly, and we want to be strong and supple and all of that. But we're most interested in moving Qi through the body. So today, we're de-emphasizing the Qi movement and instead focusing on let's all get healthy backs. And every movement that we do in this set is going to affect your back in a strong way. But to do that, we need to change our bodies. And for many of us, that means we have to monitor because we know we're going to move incorrectly and moving in the old way that we're used to rather than the new way. So stopping frequently and adjusting frequently. Very good idea. Okay, I know you're all practicing at home. Absolutely. Getting healthier. Good stuff. Last class today.
Yeah.
For this session, anyways, and then I believe it's a week off and we'll start up again.
Without some of us.
Sorry?
Without some of us.
So if you guys enjoyed 8-section brocade, we did that last time, and we did it kind of, this is, in this class, mostly we do this set, but last time I did 8-section brocade because I've been working on that 14-day challenge for you folks to do. So I thought I'd give you an in-person version of it. We didn't finish it last time. If you would like to work on that again, we could do that next session. Spend a little bit of time getting it working. Okay, let's do this one again, and then we'll move on to the next one. And this time, I'm not going to talk very much. Let's just go through it nice and slow, and send your awareness through your body. Okay, and keep stopping and feeling and looking, even touching, to make sure you're as correct as possible. Okay, let's go through the correct ending for this. So the correct ending is center yourself and pause a little bit. Sink your breath. Take a breath and feel through your body. See if the stretches are all in the correct place. Then put some effort into bringing the stretch back very strongly. Look straight up, and as you look up, sink your hip, sink your chest. try to aim your fingers as straight up as you can. And pause and breathe. And then arch down to your shoulder height. And pause there, your body nice and straight. Okay, without moving your arms, go to middle back. And then everything moving together, go to lower back. Roll the shoulders back. And pause. Softly.